My name is Derek Metzger. I'm a battalion chief with the Minnetonka Fire Department in Minnetonka, Minnesota. Recently, we just purchased the 3000th PUC from Pierce, and this is it. It's the second edition PUC for our fire department. The first PUC that we were able to purchase was in 2018, and this has basically become the next version of that. So we've got a lot of updates that we did, things that we found that we wanted to do previously that we were able to do on this engine. Just starting at the bumper here, you can obviously see everything, all the trim and finish that was chrome or just regular bare metal, we have blacked out. We ruggedized the bumper, we ruggedized a lot of the surfaces just because of this engine is going to be really the workhorse of our fleet. The one that it's replacing is got about 60,000 miles over the last couple of years. So it really does see a lot of high call volumes and just a lot of road time. So we wanted to make this truck as rugged as possible. It's going to get a lot of use. So all these surfaces basically are going to be meant for just heavy use for them. So the front bumper we have set up, we're going to have a short section of a supply line and then basically a junk line for car fires, garbage fires. So we've got space for that up front. Other than that, it's just a pretty simple, basic front bumper. So these grab handles here are just some of the little updates that we were able to do with this engine versus the last one. So anytime we're speccing an engine, we want to make sure that we're improving on the last one. And this is one of those things, I mean, when you're washing trucks, you're getting up on the front bumper to clean off the windows or whatever you're doing up here, it's nice to have something to grab onto. So just a lot of those little details are what we were able to accomplish with this engine. We've kind of tucked away things just so they're not standing in the way, so we don't hit things on the road, they don't catch in anything, so it's a very clean setup the way we have that. So this is another EMS compartment here where we'll have some battery storage up on top and then more of our EMS equipment on this lower shelf that we're going to be using very frequently. So one of the features that we're starting to add on some of our engines are these placards. Basically, if an engine either moves stations, if it goes out of service for a day or two for maintenance, whatever the case is, that we're able to continue to use that same engine number. And we just swap them out based off needs. So that was one of the items that we added to this engine. So looking in the rear of the cab here where the firefighter's going to be sitting, we've got compartmentation that's going to hold more equipment, more gear, more EMS equipment, just storage. So we're going to be able to have, a set of irons in here. We'll have our flashlights, radios. The way we laid this out, our previous version of this, we had two of these large compartments, and it eliminated that far window. So on this engine here, we cut that compartment in half. We opened up the space so that the driver can have more of a blind spot window. And then we put that compartmentation going across so that there's a large cabinet shelf. It's just going to allow us more tool storage and equipment storage for like battery powered items like flashlights, our 4-gas, our thermal imagers, and those type of things that need to be inside the cab. We have spec'd out these Crosslays. One of the things that we really put a focus on with our fire department is getting water on the fire very quickly. So everything from exactly what our spec is from our hose and nozzles, we've designed these trays specifically with the exact measurements to fit our equipment so that they're not too tight. It's not a generic calculation that somebody will put in. This is going to fit our equipment exactly, and that's the way we wanted to design it that way. Looking at the pump panel, one of the features that I think we really wanted to see is that we've got flow meters attached to every discharge. We were able to do that with this pumper. One of the benefits of that, just especially if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you've got a driver operator, they might be running multiple lines, is that not only they're going to hit their target pressures just with their discharges, they can also verify that with the flow meters, understanding that, that we're getting our target flows there. So that was a big piece that we added to this next engine. These steps here are on the side. I think these are pretty standard on Pierce PUCs. They just flip out just for accessing anything higher up. So we've got our two main Crosslays here and our 2.5, and then we'll also have some tool storage higher up over there. So that's where we have these steps that flip down here. Kind of moving across throughout the rest of the truck here. Just kind of basic compartmentation for spare SCBA bottles. We've got fire extinguishers in these hatches here. Kind of getting towards the back of the truck. Again, we've got all of these ruggedized surfaces, so The stuff that's going to see heavy use is all coated with this material so that we're not constantly dinging and denting all of our equipment. This is a big piece that we wanted to focus on with this engine, is that we were able to lower the hose bed, I think about 7 inches from our previous engine. It's a huge benefit for us. The goal with this engine was that firefighters do not need to get on the tailboard to pull hose off the truck. Everything will be able to be deployed from the ground level. So we're not going to be jumping onto the back of the truck. We've got, you can't see it right now, but the way the vinyl will come off the back is just a pull of one cord and it comes down. It's just quick water on the fire is what we want to focus on. So the firefighter's ability to be able to pull hose quickly off the truck is a must for us. So we were able to accomplish that with this. We were able to get this light bar up here on the side with our scene lighting. We did not spec a light tower, so we ended up going with these high power LED lights for our scene lighting, which was a great option for us. We were able to get rid of our generator that way. These I think they're all run off the 110 or 12 volt, so they're not necessarily needing that generator to be powered. Kind of moving further along here as we get into the cab. We're looking at here, so we've got EMS compartments on either side. So we have a fair amount of EMS runs that we do as a fire department. I'd say about 70% of our call volume is EMS. So on both sides of the engine cab, you'll have your EMS equipment stored here, again, so that you're not pulling equipment from inside the cab, having to walk down. You can get off the truck, you can grab your EMS bags and equipment there. So everything's from the ground level. So on our engine, we just have it spec'd. Our emergency lights have the standard Wayland package. So that front brow light that we added, we ended up eliminating one of our spotlights on the front, and we put this brow light on. It's a really low profile, very, very bright front scene light that we were able to add. So that's a nice feature that we have updated from our last engine. We did the angled cut on this rear bumper. One of the cool things about this engine is its wheelbase is very short. We have a lot of tight neighborhoods in our service response area, and this thing can turn on a dime. Every cul-de-sac that we have, which we have a lot, this thing is easily able to do 180s and full turnarounds without having to stop and go into reverse. Part of that, continuing on that, just how nimble it is cutting these angles off the bumper, making sure we're not getting into tight spots and banging around on stuff. So that's a really nice feature for anybody that's got tight neighborhoods, a lot of tight corners you're turning, is those little details, just saving on some of those spots. So we're not, dinging our truck onto cars, we're not hitting trees, mailboxes, things like that. So on this engine, this is our ladder storage. We keep a 24-foot and a 14-foot in this compartment. And one of the little details that might be overlooked oftentimes is just the orientation of what your ladder placement is. So we made sure that when we spec'd this specifically to previous engines, is that you've got if it's a 2-fly ladder, you've got it oriented properly so when it goes onto your shoulder, it's not in an awkward position, so you can quickly deploy this. You can pull it straight from the compartment onto your shoulder and deploy it just in seconds. So you're not going to have to mess around with that. So very specifically, your ladder placement is important for quick deployments. All right, so that wraps up our PUC that we just purchased, the 3000th PUC from Pierce. We're excited about this engine. We did a lot of things updated from our previous engine that we're going to be able to utilize now. So we're excited for it, and thanks for watching.